Disney has made a major change in Galaxy's Edge. Are the updates coming to Star Tours a signal of change coming to Tomorrowland? And if you love lightsabers, we've got news for you. All this and more coming up next on Fresh Baked. Hi guys, David here with Fresh Baked, and boy do we have some news for you coming out of Galaxy's Edge. This weekend, Disney announced that starting on May 28th, guests are going to be finding some new characters in Galaxy's Edge. They're going to be able to meet Boba Fett and Fennec Shand, both from, obviously, the Book of Boba Fett on Disney+. Now, this by itself is great news for Galaxy's Edge, a land that has been desperate for some new energy, some new life, namely new characters in the land. Where Avengers Campus has a virtual army of characters running around all over the place, all day long. Galaxy's Edge has Rey, Chewie, Stormtroopers, and Kylo Ren from time to time. The same characters since the land is open. There have been virtually no changes whatsoever. In fact, they've taken away Vi. You hardly ever see Vi Maradi anymore. And this is something that we've been talking about a lot in our podcasts and other videos, is that there's a distinct lack of characters in Galaxy's Edge. A lack of things that were characters that were promised to us. So this is great news, being able to add Boba Fett and Fennec Shand. I believe that both of these are going to be very popular characters in Black Spire or Galaxy's Edge. But perhaps better yet is that both Boba Fett and Fennec Shand are original trilogy characters. You may remember that when they first started presenting Galaxy's Edge to us way back in the beginning, they had a really interesting concept. They're gonna narrow the land to a very specific timeline, the sequel trilogy timeline. And obviously, everybody knew why they're doing this, because they were in the middle of this big sequel trilogy run: Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. What turns out to, this was going to be a big deal, and they wanted to represent those films. I get that, but the films have not been popular with fans. Well, I should say with all fans. Whereas nobody can argue the popularity of, let's say, Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker or Boba Fett. Nobody can argue how popular those characters are. So the fact that they're bringing in characters, Boba Fett and Fennec Shand, that exist in the same timeline as Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker or any of those from the original trilogy, that tells us that Disney has, without having saying it, they haven't said it out loud, but they're telling us indirectly, never mind that whole nonsense about us sticking to the sequel trilogy timeline, the sequel trilogy era. We are now going to open up the land to just whatever. And that's fantastic news. It's what we've been asking for, personally, that is. When I say we, I mean Fresh Baked. We've been asking for this for a while now. Now, so far, it's just Boba Fett and Fennec Shand, but they've cracked the seal. Now it's just a matter of time. Now it's just a matter of time until we see those other characters come into play. As a matter of fact, they've already said soon, in the near future, we're going to be seeing the Mandalorian and Grogu. Those are going to be coming to Galaxy's Edge as well. My assumption, obviously, is that they're using Boba Fett and Fennec Shand now to help promote. Well, Boba Fett isn't exactly an ongoing series. It's a recently finished series. But when Mandalorian Season 3 comes out next year, that's when they're going to probably bring out those characters in Galaxy's Edge. And that also means, the galaxy is wide open for all the other types of characters besides Darth Vader and Han Solo and Princess Leia or Luke Skywalker. We're talking about Jawas. We're talking about Ewoks. We're talking about Tusken Raiders. I'm talking about all the people, all the characters that we saw in Star Wars Night. That could have been perhaps a test run in doing that, having those characters out there, seeing how the people react to those. And I'm going to tell you, they reacted very, very favorably to that event. I can promise you that. I did as well. And they've got the costumes. They've got the actors ready to go. They can do this. Everything is there. All they have to do is just flip the switch and turn it on. So it's just a matter of time, I think, before we start seeing all that stuff here in Galaxy's Edge. As for the Boba Fett we found in Galaxy's Edge, the fit was pretty good. They definitely got the look right, and he looked, menacing enough. Two things I noticed on Saturday when we met him was that he didn't speak, and that he often struck a pose that we're probably familiar with if you've watched Boba Fett over the years, or if you've watched him in his recent series, a pose that he strikes, but usually he's got a rifle in his arm when he's doing that pose on screen, which I understand. They can't have him walking around with a rifle. It's just something that I noticed with my eyes. I'm like, well, that's interesting. He's doing the pose, but not with the rifle. Anyway. As far as the not speaking thing goes, that was quickly resolved, as there are reports that he was speaking on Sunday.
Welcome. Good to see you.
Hello, Dimo.
Troopers in the outpost. Want you back.
So they've already got, the voice or the gesture recognition thing going on. And by the way, that footage we saw on Twitter was with Fennec Shand. She was pretty awesome as well, I have to say. Again, the fit was very good, but more than that, her overall sort of serious and intimidating demeanor was on target. And I especially loved the way that she just kind of moved silently through the marketplace, like she belonged there, like it was a lived-in environment for her, like this was her home. Very well done on her part. Excited about this. So there's that new stuff here in Galaxy's Edge right now. This is happening right now and more to come. There's also new stuff coming to Star Tours. First, it was Finding Nemo coming back. Now we're hearing they're going to put money into Star Tours. Let this be the story that officially buries the concept that Disney's out of money. I can't imagine if Disney were anywhere near broke or if they didn't have budget for this or that, why are they putting money into either Finding Nemo or Star Tours? That's a good question. I don't have an answer for you, but that's food for thought. Anyway, Disney Imagineer Scott Trowbridge was part of a panel, a Star Tours panel, a Star Tours specific panel at Celebrations. And he asked another panel member, Matt Martin, regarding Star Tours, are we done here? And Martin said, you know what? I think we're going to do some more. And then Scott followed up by saying that Star Tours storytelling continues to grow and expand, and that Star Tours is one of those great experiences that can grow with it. So yeah, Star Tours is not dead, alive and well, and it's going to be that way for a while if they're adding new scenes. And this has led me to a conclusion. It's another clue that Disney has no plans at all, no plans to update Tomorrowland in the near future. In spite of those headlines that we saw recently a few weeks ago saying that Disney is expected to make an announcement regarding a new Tomorrowland at D23, I don't think there's any chance of that at all. I'm here to dissuade you from, I guess that is my opinion. Look at the aggregate of things. You've got the Space Mountain news in Hong Kong. That, I believe, that signals a pause button for anything new. They want to see how that works out first, I think, before they do anything here in Disneyland. Then you've got Finding Nemo. They put a bunch of money into Finding Nemo. Why? Why would they do that? They wouldn't do that if they had any plans for Tomorrowland. Now they're putting money into Star Tours. Again, they wouldn't be putting money into that if they didn't think they were going to sit on whatever it is that they're doing at Tomorrowland for years. I'm guessing that we're not going to see anything at all. We're not going to hear anything. Oh my gosh, we may not even hear anything for 10 years in Tomorrowland. Certainly they're not going to do anything for that long. Now, I don't know anything. This is just me reading tea leaves. Mice Jack could be right. Who knows? But I'm just saying, you look at the signals, it only leads to one conclusion. I can't imagine, from what we've observed of Disney in the past and not wanting to put money into a project that's going to go nowhere anyway, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Now, as for those new scenes in Star Tours, what do you think we're going to see? My guess is they're not going to be sequel trilogy scenes. I don't even think they're going to be from the films at all. They got a bunch of new content coming out on Disney Plus, and perhaps that's one of the motivations for making new scenes in Star Tours is to help promote that new content coming to Disney Plus. You've already got The Mandalorian. I'm expecting that to be a situation for Star Tours possibly. You've got Obi-Wan. You've got The Acolyte coming up. You've got all kinds of stuff that you could be doing at Star Tours. If you're looking for content from Disney Plus, do not look, I don't think, for any new scenes regarding the films. The only possibility that I could see happening is perhaps the prequel trilogy. That's been getting more love. There's a slight connection between the new Obi-Wan series, Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker, with those characters coming back from the prequel trilogy, or those actors playing those roles coming back to the Obi-Wan show on Disney Plus. But more than likely, I think that's where they're going. Mandalorian, Obi-Wan, or the Acolyte, perhaps. Anyway, I'd love to hear your feelings about my train of thought about the direction that Tomorrowland is going, or the lack of it, that is. In the meantime, we'll continue with our Star Wars news. We got lightsaber news. As I've been discovering lately, people love lightsabers, and I'm not even talking about those, $20 or $25 lightsabers that you get at the Star Trader. That used to be the end of that conversation, unless you got one custom made or something like that. I'm talking about the $100 plus, $120, $130 plus lightsabers that you can get at Doc Ondar's or at Savvy's Workshop, for that matter. And on that topic, there will be new lightsabers coming to Doc Ondar's very soon, and one of them you're going to get to vote on. There are 6 candidates: Jocasta Nu from Attack of the Clones, Quinlan Vos from Clone Wars, Depa Billaba from Bad Batch, Padawan Barris Coffee from Attack of the Clones, Sifo Dyas from Clone Wars and Attack of the Clones, sort of, because as you all know, if you follow the show, he was mentioned by name in Attack of the Clones, but not seen in the film. And then finally, Padawan Caleb Doom, otherwise known as Kanan Jarrus, all grown up in Rebels. Different saber, though, I would assume. Some of these names I don't recognize. Attack of the Clones, I'm still trying to... I watched that series, but I'm in the middle of rewatching it. I forgot everything. So some of those names are not familiar to me. But that does go towards, actually, to the popularity of Star Wars and specifically of people wanting lightsabers. If there's a Jedi, that Jedi has a lightsaber. And if there's a lightsaber, there's somebody out there who wants it, no matter how obscure that Jedi is. Namely, a Jedi that doesn't even appear in a Star Wars film. So go to the Disney Parks blog to vote on your lightsaber. I'll put a link in the description. As for me, I voted for Caleb, a.k.a. Kanan, just because I love that character, Kanan. I love Rebels, so that's going to get my vote. I have a feeling that's where this is going to wind up going. I think people want to see that one. The other one I thought of maybe was Sifo Dyas for whatever reason. Prequels. People love prequels these days. And that's not all. There's going to be more lightsabers aside from this one that we're voting on. Namely, this legacy lightsaber set for Obi-Wan Kenobi. This set includes the hilt and the blade, belt clip, and display stand. You get it all. No word yet on price, though it's going to be available for pre-sale on Shop Disney starting May 31st at 7 a.m. Pacific. May 31st, 7 a.m. Pacific, you can get into the pre-sale on Shop Disney. In addition to the Obi-Wan hilt, there's going to be hilts for Darth Sidious and Plo Koon. Expect these to sell out fast, as they often do. And if you're in the market for a Ben Solo Legacy hilt, head to Doc Ondar soon, because it sounds like they're going to be pulling those off the shelves. And there's more. It sounds like Disney's going to refresh the 4 lightsaber themes found at Savi's workshop. All new designs and all new configurable pieces for each. I got to say, all this Star Wars news has me pretty hyped. People want to say that Star Wars is dead or dying or not what it used to be. I think that somebody needs to tell Star Wars, because they're certainly not acting like it. They're acting like they're going full steam ahead. And it sure feels like that. There's a lot of great content coming for Star Wars. And never mind the films. It's all going to Disney+. We got there's more animation coming. God, Star Wars Celebrations was a great weekend for Star Wars fans. And I think we're going to be super excited about Star Wars for the very near future and into the distant future as well. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go watch the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan again. In the meantime, you guys follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney, that's fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney. And if you like our show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you very much. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And Fresh Baked.
Go up there, Jack.
Find us, folks.
She got a little excited. Can you sign this for me, please? Wow.
Get it?
Yeah.
I think he looked away at the last second.
What up, Betty?
Folks, we are going to keep on moving.
It's becoming a skill, the mobile selfie. The stormtrooper, this will be good. It's coming for you. So no interception with the stormtroopers there. It was so close. Grab Scott Trowbridge right here. Right side, Scott. So he was just trying to get a selfie with her also. Scott Trowbridge was. Look at. That's so cool. I got 2 for 1 on this one.
So it's supposed to be a serious picture. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh.